Quinn would drink soda because he's a little boy. Welcome in. Maybe not. Oh, okay. Well, this is the DNVR Avalanche pregame show. Live with Bailey and Rudo, coming to you as the Avs are taking on the Minnesota Wild, or should I say the Quinnesota Wild. See what I did with the soda joke? All the side things are soda related. Funny. Yeah, really put the effort in on this one.
Love this.
Minnesota, the hottest team currently in the NHL. They've won 7 in a row. The Avs have had a track record of stopping some of those streaks this year. Is this another one? Are the Avs lined up to win this hockey game?
I don't know about you. I'm a little nervous.
I think that's fair to be a little nervous.
When you see Quinn Hughes on the other side of the ice, the Avalanche weren't slated to take care of that for a little bit. And I don't know, just overall well-rounded. This might be a little scary.
For what it's worth, across the course of his career, the Avs are one of the worst teams for Quinn Hughes. His production numbers are, I think it's 6 points in 15 games or something like that. Not particularly special from Quinn Hughes. Not to say he could not go off tonight. He absolutely could. But for whatever reason, the Avs have had a decent job of having his number. We'll say the Avs do have the schedule advantage. Minnesota did play yesterday. It was a pretty comfortable win for them, though, so it's not like they expended a ton of energy there. But you got to count it where you have. We usually give the Avs some wiggle room when they're on a Sega Baba. Minnesota on a Sega Baba against the rested team. You expect the Avs to certainly have more energy throughout the full 3 periods of this game. Minnesota's kind of a weird team this year. They're extremely reliant on what has been Jesper Wallstedt maybe taking that job, but Gustafsson has been good in net for them too. Mm-hmm. Can the Avs avoid the getting goalied conversation today?
I hope, but if they're going to have trouble cracking any tandem, I would imagine that it's this one. Recently touted as one of the best, if not the best tandem in the NHL. So this seems like one of those ones that you want to start to get the crack early. Like, of course, you always want to be the first to score. And the Avalanche have been fairly good at that recently,
they have
too,
been,
all across the season. So if you can get that started early, I think that sets a lot of momentum against a really good goaltender, and obviously brings their confidence levels down a little bit, brings down the momentum of the other team in front of you. If you can crack that early, that's going to be their biggest hope, I think, heading into this one.
Yeah, the Avs, like you mentioned, have been pretty good about scoring first. As of late, I think they've done a bit of a better job in first periods of converting those things too, instead of giving some of that back. If Wallstedt balls out, he balls out. I assume it's Wallstedt starting. I didn't actually check, but if Wallstedt keeps up the pace that he's played at so far this year, he's probably going to win the Vezina. So, hopefully you can knock him down a peg a little bit, and he can. This could be the game that brings them back down to earth, which the Avs have kind of been that team for a number of teams this year, where Avs come into town and beat them, and then they stop feeling so hot about themselves. But on the Avs side of it, it is Mackenzie Blackwood getting the start. No real surprises there. Bednar continuing to go the rested goaltender, and pretty easy choices for the Avs there. Confidence in both, right?
I love the pattern here. I go back to what MacKinnon said about it really not being something they think about, and I love that mindset going into it, that you can be that confident with whoever is in net. I think if Scott Wedgwood also played tonight, I wouldn't have too many issues.
Yeah,
but fine. I love that this is the rhythm that Bednar is falling into with his goaltenders. No matter who you put in any given night, you're getting a really good performance.
And it's a bit of that consistency that we talk about, right? It becomes a lot easier for your goaltenders to get into that rhythm. Even if it is, you're only playing every other game, you know what to expect on as far as your schedule is concerned. We have virtually no complaints about the Avs goaltending this year, so just let them keep doing their thing on that front. You look at both of these teams, and we can pull up the team cards here. And I know we've shown you the Avs one like a million times, and that they're just first at everything except for the power play, and it's super awesome, and everybody loves it. Key for the Avs, though, the finishing has been. It's not something we really talked about. Through the first 10 games, there were times where the Avs were struggling to finish. And over the past 20-ish or so, they've really done a better job of that. Some of that is they're just extremely skilled. But I do think there is a mindset a little bit where we've seen certain players, Brent Burns, I think, is a great example of trying to force that puck towards the net a little bit more often. Do we think the Avs have the right balance there? Are they shooting the right amount? Could they shoot more? Should they shoot a little less?
I love the amount of shooting we're getting across the lineup, too. And you bring up a Brent Burns. I also want to bring up a Sam Malinsky, who's been shooting a lot for rebounds and things of that sort. And not just that, too. I mean, you've got guys expecting that from your blue liners, which I really, really appreciate. And it's setting you up well for a lot of those deflections that you're seeing. With that said, I think there's some guys that I could maybe point out that I'd like to see more from in a game like tonight. Maybe a Victor Olofsson maybe comes to mind a little bit.
You'd like him to shoot and score more, for
score
sure.
More. But I think the balance, like if you're talking about a balance, like that's something the Avs have really bought into this season, especially with an addition like Brent Burns, who brings in a lot of that veteran presence, brings in a lot of shot volume mindset from his previous teams that really only adds danger to what the Avs are trying to do.
It's, at times this year on the power play, I have certainly become the guy in section 360 yelling shoot. But at 5-on-5, it feels like I'm almost never upset with the Avs' decision to shoot or pass or make the whatever play it is they feel like they should make at the time. So at least at 5-on-5, it feels like this team has found whatever they're doing, just keep doing it. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah, for the most part, I think that's, I would mostly agree. But the thing that they've got to clean up, though, is that starting with a simple game.
Sure.
And
overcomplicate it 2 times is a fair.
Yeah. So I feel like the only complaint that I really have is those, one too many passes or fumbles in the middle of the ice when you're entering the zone. And those are the things that I'd love to see clean up. Now, I say that with, they're doing everything else right? Yeah. And sometimes those things work. If you can start out with the amount of confidence that a lot of these guys have heading into a game, sometimes that kind of thing works and you can get away with it. Minnesota's not a team I would generally try to start off that hot against. You get a feel for that kind of thing and do all of the things that you know how to do right. Play that simple game. You've got no issue.
We've had the Central Division opponent conversation a couple of times. We don't necessarily need to get into that again. But the Avs did lose their last game against Minnesota in a shootout. Wallstead stops all 3. Is there some extra juice there, or is that game long forgotten at this point?
As long as you don't let it get to a shootout, I'd say go into it with a go in the trash type mindset.
Okay.
They're a good team. Yes, the Avs are a better team. They've got the advantage on talent. They've got the advantage in a lot of different areas, and obviously with the stat cards we showed. They've got the leg up here. So as long as you can buy into that and play to that strength, play to your advantage, and don't let them get fancy with it. I mean, Quinn Hughes is a very highly touted defender for a reason. And even if you have a Cale Makar and a Nathan MacKinnon and a Martin Necas on your team, you've still got great goaltending, but you're not going to do much against a Quinn Hughes if you let him get hot.
For sure. If you get out of his way, he will beat you. The Minnesota card here, kind of a weird team. Not that they aren't good. Obviously, they've earned their spot at the top of the NHL, but they're the worst finishing team in the league. They do not score effectively. some of that is probably lack of forward talent, especially post the Quinn Hughes trade, although they've been scoring great lately. They're great. Not really defensively. Again, this is a lot more on goaltending. Their expected goals against is one of the worst in the league, but their actual goals against is one of the best because of how good Wallstedt has been. Power play pretty good, penalty kill pretty bad, pretty normal lineup there. But a team that, a week ago I would have said extremely reliant on goaltending. Today, they get a number of guys back off of injured reserve, including defensemen and forwards on both ends. Is this a game where we expect Minnesota to find some extra jump because of that, or maybe they hit a little bit of rust?
It could be either, and I hate giving that answer, but it's so much unknown because of that going into it. I'd love to say rust, but with how good this team is, as long as you're getting those guys back at 90-95%, like there's no reason to undermine what this team is capable of. It
does help balance a little bit the Sega Baba that they're on. Not that the majority of their team will still have played yesterday, but a couple of guys with fresh legs there coming back into the lineup for them too. So it's certainly not a team. The Avs have played a number of games lately where it's like, all right, on paper, this team's bad. You should just beat them. You should be able to handle them. That's not Minnesota. No. Minnesota on paper is good, maybe even bordering on great after the acquisition of Quinn Hughes. Yes, the Avs are the better team de facto in the NHL right now. But this is one that it shouldn't be difficult to take this team seriously.
No. And I feel like in some of those games and conversations, we've run into an Avs team playing down to an opponent or playing this isn't the good team that they are.
Right.
This is the Minnesota Wild. There's no reason. This is not a team that you should be, comfortable playing at 50, 60, 70% with. You've got a Quinn Hughes.
You need the A game today.
Right. Yep. Wallstedt starting in net. You've got that to crack, and he's more than proved himself this season for this team. So
how much is this streak of Minnesota is the Quinn Hughes factor? Because they were on a 3-game win streak when they picked him up. Of course, they've won 4 more after the fact, and Quinn Hughes has played a titanic amount for them. I don't think it was yesterday, but the game before he played 32 minutes or something outrageous for them. And they're winning by 3 goals or more across this stretch. Is this really just the Quinn Hughes effect, or has everything just kind of come together at the right moment for Minnesota?
It's a little bit of both, but I do want to give special attention to that acquisition too, because you talk about teams being on hot streaks and just kind of losing some of that energy. Talk about spark plugs during a game. This seems kind of like a spark plug for their season right now. They're already hot. Maybe if you're losing some of that mojo and you get that acquisition, that's just something to make you even better. And that seems like something they're feeding off of to be as good as they are.
It's whatever it is certainly working for them, and hopefully the Avs can stop it. When you actually get into comparing these two teams, look, Kirill Kaprizov's awesome. He's one of the best wingers in the NHL.
That's the reason he got the paycheck he did.
Yeah, Minnesota overpaid him, but absolutely a elite player. I think I can pretty comfortably say Kaprizov is better than Marty Necas, who is the Avs' best winger.
Yeah.
So, sure. Advantage at the top of the wings to Minnesota. And then you get to the centers. Nathan MacKinnon is miles better than whoever's playing 1C today for Minnesota, whether that's Eriksson Ek or Danila Yurov.
That's going to be anybody Nathan MacKinnon comes across unless you're Connor McDavid.
Sure, but it feels like even a bigger get. MacKinnon had to at least go up against Scheifele in Winnipeg, which is MacKinnon's better, but Scheifele's like a proper 1C. Minnesota doesn't have a real 1C.
No.
And I really think that's Minnesota's biggest problem. Not that they're perfect elsewhere, but Kirill Kaprizov is so good they can drive some play from the wing. But you look down their lineup, and if the matchup Minnesota wants to go with is Eriksson Ek against MacKinnon, which they usually do, Ek is their two-way center. That leaves Danila Yurov versus Brock Nelson, who you like Brock Nelson more than you do Yurov. So if you're giving the top of the wing conversation to Minnesota, you have to give the centers conversation to the Avs, right?
Oh, absolutely. And they've taken a huge step forward this season as well, too. Like throughout it, they have only trended upwards. So I honestly, you could put Jack Drury out there against a lot of these centers, and I would feel pretty confident.
It didn't get better there by moving Rossi. Not that, again, Hughes is worth it for them, but their center depth is not awesome.
You've got a Quinn Hughes, and there's no doubting what he is capable of, too. But I want to go back to the card here a little bit too, and say that goals for versus goals against, that goals against is really what kind of scares me here a little bit against this team. But that goals for isn't great. Yeah.
You should be able to hold them to a reasonable number. And part of that conversation is Quinn Hughes is awesome. He's definitely helping Minnesota. He hasn't had to play against the one defenseman on the planet that's better than him yet. Yeah. So.
You're telling me there's not a conversation there, Rudo?
None. Sorry, Minnesota. We've been doing this Vancouver for years. Minnesota, it's your turn. I know you're going to have guys saying Quinn Hughes is the best. You're just wrong. Yeah. It's Makar, and it's not particularly close.
You can play him over 30 minutes, and he's still not better than Cale Makar. No. So
if anything, you're probably going to burn him out that way. But.
Yeah. We're having that conversation with Cale playing 28 every night. Right. So that's
trying to get him to 24.
Please, that'd be great. No, but that's my whole thing is that goals against number is really the only thing that kind of scares me for this team. But as long as you're playing your game, you've got a Cale Makar, you have a Devon Taves who's been incredible defensively. You've got some defensemen in your bottom four that can maybe have shaky games every now and again, but for the most part have been really, really solid in defending the zone. So as long as you can continue to do that and lock that up, continue to keep them at one of their worst, that, I have no doubt that this game should go in the Avs' favor.
Look, we do an Avs pod every day, so we're hypercritical of when the Manson-Burns pairing is struggling or when the Sams are struggling. We see every little tiny detail of that. But when you look at these two teams, even with Quinn Hughes in the fold, which team's defense would you rather have? Would you rather have the Avs defense, or would you rather have the Wild defense, which I know they're getting Brodin back today, and Bogosian is coming out of the lineup, which also helps them. But even then, a defense of Faber, Spurgeon, Brodin, Quinn Hughes, Middleton, and Jiricek, I think that's their six.
Yep.
Or the Avs defense. For me, it's not a hard choice.
No, not at all, especially what you're getting from as far as a two-way game from a lot of these Avs defensemen as well. They're really solid defensively, but they're also contributing on a high level in the offensive zone as well.
Most productive defense in the NHL by a lot.
Yeah. So, the blue line's an undefeated choice for me.
So, cool. All of the pluses that Minnesota picked up were supposed to make you competitive with the Colorado Avalanche. And yeah, sure. They are competitive. But I think you still look towards the Avs as the favorite there. And then you move into the depth of this lineup. And, for all the praise I was giving Kirill Kaprizov at the top, Matt Boldy also absolutely nails for this team on the wing. And the depth absolutely falls off of a cliff after that. Vladimir Tarasenko, he's 35, playing in their top six.
Yeah, 34, yeah.
Ryan Hartman, always been a pesty guy, but the offense has been hit and miss with him over the years. And it just gets worse from there.
You've got Nico Sturm at your 4C.
Right. With 5 points. Vinny Hinostroza playing in your depth, 5 points. Marcus Foligno, when he's healthy, 2 points in 26 games. The Avs, I guess Kiviranta is in that conversation, has not produced a ton this year. But the rest of their bottom six are all 10 to 20 point guys. Victor Olofsson has 19 points on the season right now, and we're like, he needs to score more compared to Minnesota, who barely has these guys over 10 points.
Yeah, that's the one area, like if you want to have the Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes conversation, all right, sure, I'll maybe entertain it. You're not going to get a positive answer in Quinn Hughes' favor from me, but I'll entertain the conversation. As far as depth goes, this is where the Avs have Minnesota beat by a mile. And that's what makes the rest of the season so hard, too. You look at a trade deadline, you're like, how can they improve in that regard?
Yeah.
There's not really any improving to happen. And so going into a game like this against a really high-end talent like a Minnesota Wild, especially, I mean, mostly where the top six is concerned as far as forwards, and then, I mean, Quinn Hughes, goaltending, you've got a top-end team. Like, there's no doubt that this is a team that can compete at a high level. Obviously, look at the standing. They're where they are for a reason. But as far as deploying four lines, which Bednar has not always been known to do this season, but you can. If that's
who scored the game winner last game.
Right.
Like,
so, like, that's where I kind of come from, is like, if you're going out and deploying all four lines tonight, against theirs, you can't sit there and tell me that the Avs aren't a better team top to bottom through their 12.
Yeah, I think it's advantage Avs. Certainly forward core as a whole, D core as a whole. Sure, the top winger in the game might be Kaprizov, but the Avs have the top center. Goaltending, yeah, I think you can, as good as the Avs goaltending has been, you probably give the nod to Wallstead there.
Yeah.
So there's some give, there's some take. You still feel like the Avs are the best team in the NHL because they have 2 regulation losses and are sitting on 57 points on December 21st and could be 59 at the end of the day. 2 games left before the Christmas break. This is one of them. It's a big Central Division run. I don't think the Avs are particularly focused or worried about Minnesota tracking them down in the Central or whatever. The Avs lead is just simply too big. But you wouldn't mind a statement win, a little reminder to the division that, hey, nobody can touch us.
Yeah. This game, especially, it being a Central Division opponent, it feels like more of that should be kind of game for me, especially. I mean, you get the win against Nashville, you get the win against Winnipeg, but I mean, this is a team that you let beat you in the shootout
already
a couple
once.
weeks ago.
It's already happened.
If you can get the leg up there, like this feels kind of a necessary, like, get a leg back up, not just on the league, but on the division.
Home versus road. The Avs are able to take care of a Central Division opponent in Winnipeg at home. Maybe it's closer than you would have liked. Avs have been a really good team on the road, too. Let's not kid ourselves, but their 2 regulation losses have come on the road. Do we, maybe not do we, can we expect, can the Avs, there we go. Can the Avs find a little extra juice on the road to really put down a proper win instead of squeaking one out?
Proper, I don't know if that's exactly my expectation for tonight.
I think that's fair,
Yeah.
but
No,
I can hope.
The hope can be there. No, given how Minnesota is currently performing at home too, like it's no slouch. They've won 5 in a row at home. Now it's no 12 at home like the Avs are currently running.
It is not.
But it's still, they've got that mojo. They've got that momentum coming into this game. And if the Avs, I will be shocked if this game ends up being like a blowout 6-2 type thing. Like it's going to be a gritty one. It's going to be one that you have to fight for, especially if you can't crack Wallstead early.
I'm going to ask a question different than the crystal ball answer.
Oh.
And you may have already answered this earlier in the show. We'll get to the crystal ball too.
Okay.
Is there someone on the Avs that you want to see get going a little bit more?
I feel like the cop-out answer is a Victor Olofsson.
Yeah.
You know what? No, that's who I'm going to go with is Victor Olofsson.
I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if there's somebody who I would love to see score tonight or get back into his groove, like that's somebody I want to find, because I mean, mechanically he's been playing all right, but we didn't see the Avs get him to just play all right hockey. This is a guy who is a sniper. He's known for his goal scoring finesse and
a guy with a shot that can beat a Wallstead.
Right. I'd love to see that from a Victor Olofsson tonight.
I'm going to take a weird answer to my own question here and say Landy.
Okay.
Not that I don't think that Landy hasn't been going. I think he's been playing very well. But let's see him score a real meaningful goal that actually counts. Okay.
Fair.
Beat a goalie clean. Show him you can still do it.
Yep.
Get in there. Be the captain. All right. Beyond that, let's get into our crystal ball. Look into the future here. What's the score? Give me a name. What's going to happen in this game, Bailey?
Give me 4-3.
Okay.
I'm going to go kind of spicy with mine.
Ooh.
Give me another Cale Makar on the power play.
I'm absolutely here for this. Makar does seem to elevate his game against the likes of Quinn Hughes and all of that. So I love that choice.
Best on best. Give me Makar getting the leg up.
I'm gonna go just another normal 3-2.
Okay.
I just think it's the high scoring stuff. The season seems to be settling in, and we're getting less of that. Plus, it's Wallstead. For a goal scorer, I am going to take Val Nichushkin. I think different from I just have a good feeling about that second line in general. I said Landy and Nichushkin. Nelson's been really good lately. It might be Nuke's time to put one in the back of the net. We can also look at some other options with my pre-game picks presented by Bet365, where, of course, things are never ordinary. It was actually decent money to cover at plus 155 with Minnesota on the Sega Baba. I don't think that's a terrible bet. I took the Landy power play point.
Okay.
Did take Makar to score the first goal of the game, though, because it's plus 1,800.
I mean, he can score the first on a power play and Landy assist.
Absolutely.
Like that's a great way to hit
Those
that.
things can combine on that. Does feel like Landy's been close on the power play, too, for all of my complaints on it. Landy's the guy having them work on it. He's the guy in that bumper that's getting some of those opportunities. So maybe you can make it work that way on the Avs power play. Whatever it is, Minnesota, another team with a bad penalty kill. At a certain point, you got to start taking advantage of that and making your life easier. So hopefully the Avs can. When you do gamble with Bet365, make sure you use the DNVR 365 code. And of course, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. Just about 10 minutes or so from puck drop here, and we're winding down the pregame show. Bailey, eventually a team's going to have to lay an egg against the Avs, right? I know the Avs are the top of the league and everyone tries to get up and make a statement game against that team. But eventually you're going to run into a team that runs out of gas. I want it to be Minnesota. I don't think it's going to be, but I want it to be. Is there a world where both these teams play their A game tonight, or is this going to be whoever looks better gets the job done?
Is it allowed to be both?
Sure, it can be both.
That's to say, like, when the Avs face teams, you're getting the other team's best. 9 times out of 10, 19 times out of 20, you're getting the best of the best on the other side of the ice because you're looking at cracking the Avs. The Avs are the team you want to show up against and say that you are better than. But at the same time, too, this is a Minnesota Wild team coming off of they're on their back half of back-to-back. I think there's something to be said about the Avs capitalizing on some of that sleepiness, some of those tired legs.
Yep.
And, using some of that momentum and saying, this is a really quick road trip, and then you got to go home and take care of another Central Division opponent. So be the better team, take care of business against a team that you should be able to take care of business with, given the context.
Yep. And in any game, when your opponent has tired legs, it's the simple conversation. Get out to a lead, hold the lead. They'll probably go away eventually. Now, again, you can't sleep on Minnesota. If you do, they will punish you. But if you're up multiple goals in the third period, Minnesota, you switch the W upside down. It's Minnesota, Winnipeg. I don't know where I was going with that one.
I love the little Wicked reference there. So, okay.
Minnesota will push you, but if you take advantage of the situation they're in, maybe you can make your life a little bit easier. And I think that's the key for me. Far too many games this year, the Avs have made their life harder than it has to be. They still find a way to win because they're amazing, but you can make your life easier too.
No, absolutely. There's no reason that the Avs should not be able to go in here and take care of business. That's the way that I'm looking at it. You've got everything lined up in your favor.
Yeah.
So there should be no reason for you to not go and run with that.
Run with it. We're going to run over to the watch along here. We appreciate all y'all hanging out for pregame. Mike will be on for the watch along and then join Bailey. I and AJ will jump on for the postgame too. So whatever happens, we'll break it all down there. This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
We all silly like the mayor.